I called this applications of acceleration. Really what I'm saying is, you know what? The stuff we did last day where I gave you everything listed out, no, I'm never going to do that again. Instead, what I'm going to give you is a physics application. We have to look for physics words and numbers, but we're going to use the same approach. So example 1 says, an object starts at rest. You know what? I would underline the phrase at rest, because that tells me something. And travels 12 meters over the next 3 seconds while accelerating constantly. Okay. Adam, what does part A want me to find? You know what? I'm going to use the same system as we did yesterday. I'm going to write A equals question mark. I feel better. I wrote something down. Yay. What does at rest tell me?
Zero velocity.
Which velocity? Oh, okay. I got to be fussy because there's always more than one now. So if you say velocity, I'm always going to say which one? Which one is 0?
Initially.
VI is 0. By the way, if I wanted to tell you that V final was 0, what word would I use? I'm looking for a word that begins with the letter S and rhymes with top. I'd stop, okay? Those are going to be 2 of the big ones. There's a few more that we'll build into our vocabulary as well. Hey, what's this 12, Adam?
Meters.
D, how do you know? Meters, right? Have I told you that it's worth memorizing what units go with what? It really is. What's that 3? The skill you need to get, Julie, by the end of today is being able to find the correct equation. I'm looking for an equation that has A, V, I, D, and T in it. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. You can either figure out the correct equation, or you can notice what's missing. What is missing? What didn't I give you here? What don't you see here? VF. And you can just say, don't pick an equation with VF. I think that'll also narrow it down to only one equation. I did put them all in the same row on purpose. Which equation, Adam, my friend?
V equals VI, T plus 1 over 2 is equal squared.
I totally agree. What are we trying to find?
Acceleration.
See it right there? See it, see it, see it, see it, see it? Okay. What's the t squared doing to the acceleration?
9.
I'm going to divide eventually. What's the 0.5? I don't see a 0.5. Oh, for Pete's sakes, there's a 0.5, 1/2. What's the 0.5 doing to the acceleration?
100.
I'm going to divide eventually. What's the VIT doing to the acceleration?
5.
So I'm going to subtract. And I told you the procedure for this, Kayla, is you do reverse BEDMAS. In fact, you know what? Later on in this lesson, you're going to see brackets, and we're going to do the brackets very last, because in BEDMAS, the B stood for doing the brackets very first. It literally is reverse BEDMAS. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the D down like a domino. What did you tell me I'm going to do with that VIT?
Minus.
Don't write this next bit down. I want you to use your Sesame Street imagination. I'm going to write this next bit down. If I hear you correct, Adam, you're saying I'd have a 0.5 and A, don't write this down, and a t squared. Can you just imagine that that's there? How would you get the A by itself?
Divide.
More specific. By what?
Divide by D minus VI.
See the A? What side is it on?
Right.
So you told me I would divide by this side to get this. No,
Oh, divide by this side. 8 squared.
no. I want the A to stay. Okay?
Oh, right.
So what's the T doing to the A?
Divide. Or times.
How will I move it over?
Divide.
What's the 0.5 doing to the A?
100.
How will I move it over? So this is what you guys can write down. You can drop the A down and say there's a 0.5 T squared there. Yeah, another equation. Don't memorize it. Is that what you were going to say?
No.
Did you notice something else? There is another nice part about this, and I just noticed it now. Why can I do that? Ooh, Max, what? I always try and keep an eye out for zeros because that's the easiest number to do math with. Even Nick can do math with a 0. Nick, what's 5 plus 0? No calculator. What's 5 times 0?
Yeah.
Told you. See, even Nick can do math with a 0. And here, this would be 0 times time. Nick, what's 0 times anything? So this just, you know what? It would vanish. You don't have to do that, but if you spot that along the way, yeah, you saved yourself some typing. Adam, have we got the A by itself? Then we plug and chug. A equals, Adam, what's D? All over 0.5, what's T?
3.
Adam, is this a fraction?
Yes.
Is there more than one number on the top? So I don't need to put brackets around the top. I can go 12 divided by, oh, is there more than one number on the bottom? I better put brackets around the bottom. Although I'm going to try and do this in my head. Let me see. It's going to be 12 divided by a half, which is going to be 24 divided by 9, which is going to be 8 over 3. 2.6 repeating? Yeah. 2.66. By the way, please try this on your calculator. The reason I'm doing it in my head is because I noticed yesterday a lot of people were copying what I typed instead of learning how to type it themselves. So I deliberately didn't type it up here for you guys. See if you can get the 2.666. Oh, final thing, Adam. How many sig figs? Look up. How many sig figs? How many sig figs? You know what? I'll go 3 sig figs. I'll go 2.67 meters per second squared. You okay with that? Good. You can turn your brain off, but pay attention. Yeah.
Is there anything like discouraging us from doing this algebraically?
We did it algebraically.
I mean, like, without manipulating the formula.
Yep. You mean, can I put the numbers in first?
Yeah.
Yes. First of all, I'm discouraging you, and I carry a lot of weight here. You're going to find, first of all, if you do it algebraically, you're going to start to see how all the quantities relate better. As a matter of fact, I was at a physics Pro D Day last year in May, and they had the university profs at the front, and one of the questions that the university profs were asked is, what could we teach high school kids to help them survive university math and physics better? And one of the things they actually, all of them said was algebraic manipulation, formula manipulation. And I went, yay, because I do that already. You're going to find actually this is faster. What's 10 divided by 17 in your head right now? No idea. What's x divided by y? It's always x divided by y. What's v divided by t? It's always v divided by t. To rewrite the equation is faster than using numbers. And then once you have it rewritten, most of you will reach the point where you can plug and chug straight on your calculator showing no work. Also, I find kids make far less mistakes with letters than with numbers. So I'm going to strongly, to the power of infinity, strongly encourage you to do this. I'm not saying you have to. I am saying I'm really going to push you this way. I'm also saying if you're finding it tough, you're normal. I've done this before. It's going to click all over the place as we go along. Is that okay? If I give you a good answer? It's my answer. Hey, Connor, on that topic, what's B asking me to find? I'm going to write VF equals question mark. Connor, this is not meant to be a trick question. It's meant to be really obvious. Have we turned the page? So you know what? I'm not going to read DFIC. I have it all up here. If I had turned the page, I might then say, well, VI equals 0. And I might, but if it's all here in front of me. So, you ready, Connor?
Yep.
What do you want to find?
Yeah.
I'm looking for an equation. It has to have a VF in it. And then this. Now, I could also, now that I know A, I guess I could use an equation that has acceleration in it. Although, if I did that and I got acceleration wrong, I'm also guaranteeing that I'd get VF wrong. So I'll only do it as a last resort. Because you were going to say VF squared equals VI squared plus 2AD. Or you were going to say VF equals VI plus AT. And I'm going to say I can, but I think there is an equation that doesn't have A. And there's only one equation that doesn't have A.
D equals
Yeah.
1 over 2. D equals a half. And then VF plus VI plus VF times D.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it this way. Then I'm going to use the equation that you were going to suggest, and if I get the same answer both ways, I also know part A is right. I do that all the time on tests, because then I'm like, hey, there's no way I could have fluked into the right answer 2 different methods. I must have done the whole question right. What am I trying to get by itself?
Yeah.
Where is the VF? Inside the, I'm looking for a word that begins with the letter B. Sorry?
Bracket.
I've told you it's reverse bed mass. We're going to deal with the brackets very last.
So you divide by,
First of all, let's look at this T. What am I going to do with the T?
divide it.
Okay, so all of us right now, so have you noticed that I tend to be fairly efficient? You can call it lazy, I call it efficient. So I'm going to show maximum bang for minimum work. So what did you say we're going to do?
Divide the half and the T.
I'm going to cross the T out, and I'm going to go like this. That's the same equation.
Yeah.
Do that. I'm even going to be lazier than you just suggested. Connor, see this 1?
Yeah.
What's this 1 doing to the bracket? It's timesing. So what's the opposite of timesing by 1?
Divided.
Although, does timesing by 1 or dividing by 1 make any difference? No. See this 2? Where is this 2? On the top of a fraction or on the bottom? So is this 2 timesing or is this 2 dividing?
Divided.
So how will I move it over?
Multiplication.
Cross out the 2, put it there. And what I really have, I'll rewrite this just so you can see. Right now, I have a 2, a D, an over T. See it, Cassidy? So far, so good. Equals, and then I guess the VI plus VF would drop down. How would I get the VF by itself? What will I do with that VI?
Subtract the I.
Ready? Here, I'm going to be really clever. You're all going to hate this. You can rewrite it. Or you can honestly make that, scribble out that plus, make it a minus. You can just kind of scribble and change it. I'm not that fussy. Here's my point. Apparently, I can find V final like this. Oh, and you know what else I can do? Why can I do that?
0.
Okay. Looks like V final, in this case, is going to be 2 times the distance. What was the distance? I've scrolled down, Connor. What was the 12 divided by?
3.
Oh, you know, I can do this in my head. It's 24 divided by 3. It's going to be 8. You know what? 3 sig figs, technically 8.00. And again, let me emphasize, Michael, I'm talking about sig figs. Am I going to be fussy about sig figs? No, but I'll just reinforce it all year long. Units, Connor?
Meter per second.
Meters per second. Now, Connor was also going to say, don't write this down, Mr. Dewick, I can find V final by going like this, and the V final is already by itself. You know what? I would, if this was a test and I had time to kill, I would come back to this question and I would go 0 plus, what's A? 2.666, I'm just filling a bunch like that. 7 times, what was T?
3.
And, oh, did I get the same answer using the answer from part A? Then I must have done part A right as well. Yay! Oh, there's some rounding off right there, right?
Oh, sorry, it's the 8.
8.000.
I thought it was a bunch of zeros.
No, the 8. The
It
8.
looks the same because like the crossing the zeros.
Okay. So, because, Adrian, I'm a good test writer, I will tend to avoid using something I've already found to find something else. However, and this is important, let's suppose that you were doing part A and you couldn't get part A. You're like, I can't find the acceleration. But you said, this is a test, but you said, you know what, if I knew the acceleration, I could do part B. If you write a note by part B, if you say, Mr. Dewick, I'm going to assume the acceleration is 5 meters per second squared, and you solved part B correctly, I would give you full marks for part B. Absolutely. What that really means is don't ever leave anything blank on my tests. That's the only thing that'll annoy me is leaving a written question totally blank. Okay? Let's do some more applications here. Dolphin. Oh, dolphins! His name was Flipper. By the way, the media portrays dolphins as very friendly. They're actually quite nasty in the wild. And in fact, if you do some Google research, you know how there's lots of resorts where you can swim with dolphins and things? There's lots of lawsuits where people are injured by those things as well. Anyways, just nerd trivia. Mateo, as you're running your fingers through your lustrous hair, what are they asking me to find? Okay. A equals question mark. Mateo, what's that one? Which one? Yeah. Now, how did you figure that out? You know what? I'm going to say hopefully you have enough English grammar that you can recognize what comes before and what comes after. So the word from suggests VI was 1. What's that 7.6? And what's that 5.5? Yep. Mateo, I'm looking for an equation that has A, VI, VF, and T in it. You're right. What? Say it again. Read it one more time correctly and carefully. Mateo, did I write it down? Say no. I don't know if you can do this or not, but I'm going to push you. Do you have the equation in front of you on the purple sheet? Can you look at that and in your head right now get the A by itself? Okay, what am I going to write? A equals, what's the new equation? Mateo, you have my permission to do that in the homework and skip writing down the first equation. If you can rewrite it and go straight to the new equation, knock yourself out. Didn't you get a little nerdy adrenaline rush doing that too, huh? Like, look what I can do. This, Connor, is why I'm so big on the algebraic method, because I'm going to push you all to getting so that you can actually glance at the one on your sheet and see the rewritten one in your head. And also, there's a lot of information here because now you can see, oh, you know what? If time gets smaller, if I want to finish faster, I'm dividing by a smaller number, I have to accelerate faster. Like, there's a lot going on here. And it's plug and chug. Mateo, what'd you say VF was? What'd you say VI was? Divided by? I don't know if this will work out evenly. Well, maybe. It's going to be 6.6 divided by 5.5. The 11s are going to cancel. It's going to be 6 divided by... 1.2? Yeah. $1.2 what? Oh, it's an acceleration, meters per second squared. 9.8 is 1g. If you were the dolphin, you would not feel this very much. You're not accelerating very fast. You can notice 1.2 meters per second squared, but you have to be feeling for it. Oh, no, I told you that we feel it all backwards, right? I did that rant? Okay. B. Julie, my joy, what are they asking me to find in part B? Oh, the right D equals question mark. I didn't turn the page, so I'm not going to read it. I got it right there. So, Julie, I could use something with an A in it, or maybe I can find an equation that has a D and a VI and a VF and a T. Yeah, you were yawning, I know. I was stalling, waiting for you to finish your yawn. Which equation can I use here? Yeah. D equals 1/2. Keep going. I need to get the D by... Oh! Ha! The D is by itself. That's convenient. So, plug and chug. I'm not going to type 1/2. What am I going to type on my calculator? 0.5. 1 plus 7.6 times 5.5. You with me, Ty? You're good? You're not foolishly on your phone or anything like that? Okay. Your head was down for a while. No, it was your calculator. You're right. 0.5 bracket 1 plus. Hopefully you have a good calculator. It will let you type a bracket. Mine will actually multiply. You might have to hit a times between your 0.5 and your bracket. I don't know. Times 5.5. I got 23.65. See if you get that. Again, if you are not trying this on your calculator, I'm sorry, you're setting yourself up to do all this wrong on a test. And I won't have any sympathy. Oh, Julie, last bit. How many sig figs? 1.0. How many sig figs? How many sig figs? Technically, I should go to 2 sig figs. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to write 23 point, what was it? 6.5. And then I'll underneath it say, I guess to 2 sig figs, 24. 24 what? Units? Yep. Next page over. A car moving at 30 meters per second to the right slows down at 6.8 meters per second squared. A, how far does the car go before stopping? B, how long does it take the car to stop? There are 2 things that I should underline, 2 phrases that I should underline in this question that are important. Can anybody see them? Connor.
Slows down.
What's that going to tell me?
Negative, sorry.
Put a negative in front of the acceleration right now so you don't forget. Or if you were, you know what? You might even just go like this for part A. A equals negative 6.8, just so you don't forget. Whatever it takes. What's the other key word? How far is what we're trying to find.
Stopping.
What does this tell me?
VF.
VF is what? Hey, I like doing math with zeros. Even Nick can do math with zeros, right? I don't know why I'm picking on you. It's because you're right here. I've never done it this way before. And yeah, this is going on YouTube. Sorry. All the YouTube viewers are like, who's this Nick kid? He's smarter than he looks. Oh, that came out wrong. Oh. What else haven't I used yet? Because right now I only, the 30, right? What's that 30? It's the velocity. Yeah, which one? Got to be VI. I'm looking for an equation that has acceleration, distance, VI, and VF. AD, VI, and VF. Or the other way you can think about this is what's missing here? No time. So don't pick an equation that's got time in it. Nick, which one, kiddo?
VF squared equals VI squared plus 2AD.
Is he right? Yeah. Did I write it down? Okay, ready, Nick? How good you feeling? Do you think you can get the D by itself without writing down the original? No? Okay. VF squared equals, this is a tough one, VI squared plus 2AD. Mateo, apparently you're smarter than... Oh, sorry. What am I trying to get by itself, Nick?
The D.
See it? Look right here. See it, see it, see it, see it, see it, see it? Okay. What's the 2 and the A doing to the D?
Multiplying.
So what am I going to do
Divide.
later? What's the VI squared doing to the D?
Adding.
So if I hear you correctly, and I think I do, you're telling me the VF squared would just drop down like a domino. And then to move the VI over, I would
Subtract.
the VI squared. And then that would have a 2AD dropping down. I'm not going to write it, just visualize it. How would I get the D by itself? What will I do with that 2A?
Divide.
Connor, it's a weird way of thinking, but if you wrap your brain around it, it sure is nice. Hey, plug and chug. D equals VF 0. Oh, you know what? I probably could have crossed out that VF along the way if I'd noticed that there was a 0 there. 0 squared minus 30 squared all over 2 times negative 6.8. Nick, is there a fraction? Yeah. Is there more than one number on the top? Yeah, brackets. Is there more than one number on the bottom? Yeah, brackets. Do this one in your head, Mr. Dewick. That one's a little yucky. Well, it would be negative 900 divided by negative 450, positive 450 divided by 6.8. Oof, that's a yucky number to do math with. I'm going to wimp out. I get... Do you get 66.1726470? That?
I got it.
You did? That's two of us. Anybody else?
I did.
Okay. How many sig figs, Nick? Yo, you know what? 3, isn't it? Look, 30.0 is 3, 6.80 is 3. You know what? I'll go 3 sig figs. So 66.2 meters. Is that okay? I'm sensing you didn't get that on your calculator. Did you get that on your calculator okay?
No, I did, but I'm borrowing my friend's, so I'm trying to find the negative side.
Negative is probably down bottom row next to the equals.
Oh,
Is it there? Yeah. It's, by the way, the negatives are either always there or they're above the 7. I've never seen a calculator that has it in different locations than those two.
yeah, mine's above the 7.
Yeah. See? Boy, that was about as nerdy as I get. Without even looking at his calculator, I could describe his keyboard. That's pretty good. Renzo, question? Okay, let me pause. Yo, Adrian, what are we getting for part B? Yeah, I've been holding that dumb punchline in for like 2 years now. I know. What do they want me to find for part B? What are the first 2 words? Now, how long can be a distance? Wait a minute. What did we find in part A? So I don't think how long. Oh, what's the other thing in English that how long can make? How long does it take? What does that refer to? Time. Let's go T equals question mark. Adrian, did we turn the page?
No.
So you know what? I'm not going to read dfic. I'd like to find an equation that has T, A, VF, and VI. There is one. Which equation, Adrian, my friend?
VF equals VI plus VT.
Do you think you can rewrite that one in your head and get the T by itself just by looking at it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
VF
Yep.
minus
Yep.
VI
Yep.
divided by
Yep.
A.
With authority, not A. 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 Get a little nerdy adrenaline rush there. Wasn't that nice? Again, Connor, going back to your question, hey, can't we just plug in numbers? I'm telling you, that's way faster. You weren't foolishly on your phone or anything there, were you? Mm-hmm. Put it away, or I'll put it away. Face down, because you're not that important. Plug and chug. 0 minus 30 divided by negative 6.8. Zero, take away 30, more than one number on the top brackets, divided by negative 6.8. I got 4.4117, about that. I guess 3 sig figs again. I'll go 4.41. 4.41 what? I didn't get a negative. I don't think I got a positive. So if you got a negative, did you put a negative in for the acceleration? And did you go 0 minus in brackets? Negative 30, because isn't that a negative 30 on the top actually? Technically, yes? Okay. By the way, what did we solve for? This is actually good. What did we solve for? Time, negative or positive. Time's a scalar, so it's always going to be. So there's a built-in error check there, right? Positive 4.41 seconds. We're going to do example 4. We're going to finish with example 5, and then we're going to pause. Example 4 says a car travels at 15 meters per second and speeds up uniformly. Kayla, speeds up uniformly. That's physics speak for constant acceleration. I'm not going to change the acceleration partway through. So you'll see that phrase fairly often. That's our way of saying, hey, you can assume that whatever A you get is whatever A you get. Over the next 5 seconds, it travels 85 meters. Sage, what does example 4 want me to find? Let's write down A equals question mark. Sage, what's that 15? with authority in your voice, like you're confident.
VI.
VI. Speeds up uniformly. That just tells you there's an acceleration. What's that 5? What's that 85? Which equation? Yeah, sure. It's okay. There's no pressure. First of all, what didn't they tell me?
Oh, VF equals VI plus A3.
Did they tell me VF? So I can't use that one. In fact, you know what? I can't use anything that has a VF in it. So find the equation that doesn't have a VF in it. I think it's the third one.
D equals VI.
Keep going.
T
Keep going. Squared. T2, B5, that's battleship. T squared, that's math. Okay? You okay with that? This is probably, Matteo, the toughest equation to work with. What are you trying to get by itself? I'm going to put a little dot above the A just so you can see it. See it, see it, see it, see it? Okay. Matteo, I'm going to move this over first. You know why? Because there's no A there. Matteo, how could I move this here thing over? So you're telling me the D would just drop down like a domino, and you're telling me I would subtract a VIT? And then I want you to imagine this next part. I'm going to write this down. Dropping down, don't write this down, would be a 0.5, an A, and a T squared. Where'd the 0.5 come from? No half. Okay, so you with me so far? But just imagine that it's there. What are we trying to get by itself? What will I do with that 0.5? What will I do with that T squared? So if I hear you correctly, really, it's that. And this is why I'm telling you don't memorize all the different various equations, because that's an ugly one. With practice, and I know it'll take some practice, I can derive it. Ah! Here we go. Plug and chug. Sage, what did you tell me D was?
85.
Yep. And then there's going to be a minus. What did you tell me VI was?
15.
What did you tell me T was? By the way, am I selling you on why taking the 1 second to list everything is worth it? It really cuts down on your thinking later on, yeah? And then all over, there's a 0.5. Sage, what did you tell me T was?
5.
And then squared. Sage, is there more than one thing on the top? Say yes. Is there more than one thing on the bottom? Say yes.
Yeah.
What am I going to have to remember around the top and around the bottom?
Bracket.
Okay? This is where you're learning how to make your calculator sing a little bit. So for me, it's going to look like this. Bracket. 85, take away 15 times 5. Close off the top. Divided by. Open up the bottom bracket. 0.5 times 5 squared. Close off the bottom. And I get, you know what? This might work out evenly because it's actually going to be 10. You know what? I can do this in my head. 85 take away 75 is 10 divided by 0.5 is 20. It's going to be 20 divided by 25, which is the same as 4 divided 0.8? Yeah? Hayden, it wasn't that impressive. Hayden, look up. I went like this. You ready? This is 75. In your head, what's 85 take away 75? You can do that. 10. Dividing by 1/2 is the same as timesing by 2. That one I've memorized. So instead of 10 divided by 1/2, I went 10 times 2. In your head? 10 times 2? 20. You know what? This works out to 20 divided by 25. Then I just imagined the fraction, 20 over 25 in lowest terms, 4 over 5. And that one I've memorized over the years. So it wasn't that impressive. If that had been a different number than a 5, That would have been impressive. Final question, Sage, look up. How many sig figs?
2,
How many sig figs?
1.
Oh, one. Oh, you know what? It worked out to 1 sig fig. That's kind of convenient. I'm going to go 0.8 meters per second squared. Turn the page. We're going to finish with this. We're going to go to our happy place. I want you to cast your mind back to when you were 6 years old. At the playground. Going on slides. There's some beautiful physics in playgrounds. In fact, if we had grown-up sized playgrounds, I would totally take you on we would do a good physics field trip there. If our school had a playground right here, I might even consider doing that. Connor's eyes are lighting up. Well, there's one over, I know there's one over there. Here's what I will say, by the way. If anyone knows of a good-sized merry-go-round that's been built in our area lately, that would be great. There's a crappy one, I've walked over there before, in the park, kind of by Davy Jones, but that one sucks. I'm looking for a nice, big, good one. You know what? It might not even be there anymore. It was there 5 or 6 years ago, and I tried it, and it was so rusty it didn't work very well. I don't know. That I would totally do a Physics 12 field trip for. Anyways, read along with me.
Like those spinning ones that you push on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think there's one across from PME.
There's one across from PME.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's the crappy one. That's the one that's like green and yellow and really small, I think.
That's like Lions Park. I think they redid it.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, I will. You know what? This Saturday, I'm going out there.
I went
Okay.
on it not too long ago.
You went on it and it handled a teenager?
Yeah.
Okay.
Handed like 5.
A great physics experiment. Put one person on either side of that thing and try playing catch while it's spinning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going.
Okay? Because you can't throw it to where the person is. You have to throw it to where you think they'll be by the time the ball gets there. It's far tougher than you. That's a good one. Anyways. Sorry, we're back on our playground now. Everyone's smiling. Remember, 6 years old, everything happy? Read along with me. It says this. A child slides down a playground slide. Yay! Accelerating from rest. You know what? I would underline the phrase from rest, because that tells me some VI is going to be 0. Traveling 6 meters in 4.8 seconds. When they hit the ground, their legs bend 20 centimeters as the child stops. That's right. When you hit the ground, you flex your knees. Otherwise, it hurts. A says, how fast does the child hit the ground? B says, what's the child's acceleration and stopping? I'm going to argue that there's 2 parts here. In fact, I'm going to draw a line down the middle of the page. Part A, I think, is when you're on the slide. And part B, I think, is when you're on the ground. What's part A asking me to find? VF. At the bottom of the slide. So now I'm going to write stuff for the slide on this side. From rest. Oh yeah, I've been on slides. You do start from rest. Okay, I guess you can run and kind of jump over the ladder and try and take a running start, but most people sit down. Yes? VI is 0. What's that 6? What's that 4.8? Looking for an equation that has VF, VI, D, and T, and I guess no A. Which one? Can't be VF equals VI plus AT because I said A. Can't be D equals VIT plus a half AT squared because I said A. That, yeah, second one, D equals a half. Before I go any further, are any of these 0? Which one? You know what? I'm going to do this because really that's going to modify this equation. Michael, it's going to modify it into 1/2 VFT. What's the T doing to the VF? You know what? Cross out the t, divide by t on that side, right? What's the 1 doing to the VF? You know what? I don't care. It's a 1. What's this 2 doing? Where is this 2? On the top or on the bottom of a fraction? It's actually dividing. I know it doesn't look like it, but if it's on the bottom of a fraction, I'm telling you it's dividing. So how could I move this 2 over? Cross that out, put a 2 there. VF is going to be 2d, which is another equation, but that equation only works when VI is 0. I'm not going to memorize it. I can derive it. 2 times 6 divided by 4.8. I might be able, you know what? Hayden, I think I can do this one on my head too. Because it's 12 divided by 4.8, which is the same as 120 divided by 48. And that works, so I can divide by 12, 10 over 4, 5 over 3. Is it 1.666666? Or am I off? 2 point. Yes, 2 point. 10 over 3, Mr. Dewick. Sorry, 2.666? Is that right? 2.5 even? I'm off! Okay, got to do the math then, Mr. Dewick. Your punishment is you have to use your calculator. 2.5?
Instead of putting the 2 on the top and 4.5 on the
Great question. Nick, you just redeemed yourself. You impressed me. Nick, can you say that louder?
I said instead of putting the 2 on the top, I could put the 0.5 on the bottom.
Because timesing by 2 is the same as dividing by a half. But instead of a half, what did you say? 0.5. Yeah. You know why I don't? Because I find kids are more intimidated by decimals than they are by, like a 2 is one of the friendlier numbers to kids. So I do that instead. But yes, you could absolutely have divided by a half. Totally. And I'd give you full marks, and that's great too. Hey, we've got to the bottom of our slide, Ty. Right? You with me? Put it away. Hey, Ty, what does part B want me to find? Oh, let's write down A equals question mark. Sorry, acceleration in what? What does stopping tell me? Oh, I got 2 great answers. Yours impressed me. Yours, though, I want to write down first. So what did you say? VF? What's VF? And what did you say, Ty? Oh, sorry, Michael? We're slowing down. I'm expecting a negative answer here. If I don't get a negative answer, I'm going to be worried. So there's kind of a built-in error check. What else have they told me? Well, they've given me a distance, because this is when we hit the ground. Except what's this distance in? Okay, I'm going to change it to meters. I think 20 centimeters is 0.2. Yeah, I just snuck in another unit conversion. I need something else. What?
VI.
What's VI? Nope. Max, loud and proud. Isn't your initial velocity when you come to a stop your final velocity as you hit the ground? That's why I had to do part A first. My final over here becomes my initial over here. Okay. I'm looking for an equation that has A, VF, D, and VI in it. There is one. Renzo, what am I trying to get by itself? 8. That guy. See him? See him? See him? I'm going to have to move this guy over, the VI squared. How? What's the VI squared doing to the A? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Really? There's a times right there? Really? There's a minus right there? I think you're telling me the answer. First of all, it's adding, so how will I move it over? Minus. Yeah. So the VF squared drops down like a domino. It's going to be a minus VI squared. Now, don't write this next bit down. That would give me a 2AD, but what did you tell me I'm trying to get by itself? What are the 2 and the D doing to the A?
Like that.
So how will I move them over? Get to the little nerdy adrenaline rush there. So I'm going to go gunk, gunk. And now it's plug and chug. A is going to be VF 0 squared minus VI 2.5 squared all over 2 times 0.2. Can I do this in my head? It's going to be negative 6.25 divided by 2, which is going to be negative 3.125 divided by 0.2. Ugh, yuck. That's going to be the same as 31.2. Yeah, I can get this. 1 point. Oh gosh, Duick. It's going to be 31.2. 1.5625? Or am I totally off? I might be totally off. Hayden's lost his confidence in me. Brackets around the top, brackets around the bottom, yeah. Oh, no, I was off, not 1.5625, negative 15.625. So this kid's coming to a stop at about 1.5 Gs, which is why you guys like playgrounds. We enjoy G-forces. Negative, coming to a stop, 15.6, let's go to 3, oh yeah, 3 sig figs, meters per second squared. We're going to pause here. Next class, I'll show you how they design airports. We'll figure out how long runways need to be and how you can calculate that ahead of time. We'll also do some RCMP crash investigation physics. We'll go over the test next class. For now, if you want to get a head start, first of all, your first priority is if you haven't finished lesson 1, lesson 2, do that. But you are now capable of doing number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. You don't have to hand those in yet because I'm going to assign the rest of these when I see you folks in a week. But I wanted to give you a chance to get this all done.